Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney Ryan, and if you've been single for a long time and you just can't figure out why, it might be time for some self-reflection. A lot of guys think that women are just picky, which can certainly be true, don't get me wrong, or that dating today is impossible, but the reality also is there are behaviors that could be keeping you single without you even necessarily realizing it. And I'm not talking about the obvious stuff. These are the things that make a huge difference, but rarely get talked about or acknowledged, so let's get right into it. The first thing that keeps men chronically single is you show interest, but no intent. A lot of men fear rejection so much that they avoid making their intentions clear. Instead of confidently expressing romantic interest, they settle into this vague, friendly dynamic, texting casually, making small talk, even maybe hanging out, but never actually making a move. If she's unsure whether you even like her in a romantic way, she'll probably just assume that you don't. And if she was interested, that lack of clarity will likely kill the attraction over time. Because when a man's behavior is ambiguous, it's going to create doubt, and doubt is the enemy of attraction. So what happens next? Either she starts losing interest or someone else comes along who does make his intentions clear. And trust me, that guy who confidently asks her out, flirts with purpose, and isn't afraid of rejection, he's the one that she's probably going to choose. Not because he's necessarily better looking than you, richer, more interesting, I could go on and on here, but because confidence and decisiveness are attractive, especially to great women. We don't have time to sit around deciphering mixed signals or be your texting buddy for weeks on end. This is not a pen pal situation, right? If you like her, show her. If you want to take her on a date, ask her out. And if she's not interested, then at least you know that you can move on instead of wasting your time in this weird in-between purgatory phase. The reality is, in a situation like this, rejection isn't the worst thing that can happen. And definitely lingering in this non-relationship with a woman who doesn't even know you like her is way worse, in my opinion. So be intentional, be clear, and remember, attraction grows when you take the lead with confidence and purpose, not when you just sit back and hope for the best. Number 2 here is you're waiting for a relationship to fix you. A lot of men see a relationship as the missing piece in their lives. They think, oh, once I have a girlfriend, I'll feel more confident, or even a woman will bring me purpose in my life. But this mindset is so dangerous because it places the responsibility of your happiness completely in the hands of someone else that isn't you. This I'll be happy when mindset is such a trap that so many of us find ourselves in, and it's a habit that we need to try our best to break. I promise it isn't helping you. Women can feel when a man is looking for a relationship to complete him rather than to complement him. It shows up in how he interacts. Maybe he becomes clingy too fast, stage 5 clinger vibes, overinvests in someone that he barely knows, or seems emotionally dependent on her attention. This kind of energy doesn't feel romantic, it feels heavy, and frankly, a little bit overwhelming. No healthy woman wants to feel like she is your only source of happiness. And the hard truth is, even if you do get into a relationship, those same feelings of insecurity, loneliness, a lack of purpose don't just disappear because you got into a relationship. They usually only get worse and amplify, because when the high of a new relationship fades, you are left with the same unresolved issues, only now there's another person in the mix who feels responsible for your emotions. That's a lot of pressure, and it's incredibly unhealthy. So instead of waiting for a relationship to make you feel whole or fix you, focus on becoming whole on your own. Build a life that excites you, one where a woman would be an amazing addition, not the sole reason for your happiness. Work on your career, your fitness, friendships, hobbies. Find things that give you a sense of purpose and joy within your life, because when you're happy, fulfilled, and confident on your own, you don't come across as needy or emotionally dependent. You come across as secure, interesting, and attractive. And if you're struggling with this, sometimes the best thing that you can do is talk to someone who can help you work through it. That's why I love today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that makes getting professional support easier and more accessible than ever. Whether you're dealing with confidence issues, past relationships, being single, or just feeling stuck in life, talking to a licensed therapist can help you gain clarity and move forward in a healthier way. Have you ever felt pressured to make dramatic life changes at the start of a new year, only to feel stuck or anxious when things don't go as planned? It is so easy to compare yourself to others or to feel like you're just not doing enough. But a therapist can help you untangle those external pressures from your internal values, break down those feelings of being behind into clear, actionable goals, and develop a personalized plan that works for you. BetterHelp makes getting started simple. With a quick questionnaire, you'll be matched with a licensed therapist in as little as a couple of days. And because their network includes over 30,000 professionals, you're more likely to find the right fit. If it doesn't feel quite right, switching therapists is easy and free. Plus, it's fully online, so you can connect from the comfort of your own space on your schedule. Start fresh any day of the year with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/CourtneyRyan to get 10% off of your first month of therapy. Take this step for yourself. You deserve it. Number 3, you prioritize comfort over growth. If your dating life looks exactly the same as it did 5 years ago, same routines, same habits, same struggles, there's probably a reason for that. It's not just bad luck or women being too picky necessarily. It's likely because you're staying in your comfort zone and doing what feels familiar instead of what actually works. Maybe you only talk to women on dating apps because approaching in person feels intimidating. Maybe you rely on surface level small talk because deeper conversations require vulnerability and that makes you uncomfortable. Maybe you tell yourself you're just waiting for the right person instead of actively improving your social skills, your appearance, emotional intelligence. The list goes on. The harsh truth is, growth requires discomfort. If you want different results, you have to do something different. You don't get new results by doing the same things that you've always done. That might mean stepping outside of what's easy and challenging yourself in new ways that you've never done before. It might mean initiating real-life conversations, even if it feels a little bit awkward at first. It might mean getting feedback from people you trust, maybe this video even from me, even if it stings a little bit. It might mean working on the parts of yourself, whether it be physical, emotional, or social, that you've been avoiding. Women are drawn to men who evolve and improve, not men who make excuses for why they can't. No one wants to date a guy who's stuck in the same patterns and refusing to grow. If you're not willing to put the effort in to better yourself, why would a woman believe that you'd put in effort to a relationship? Think of it this way. If you're training for a marathon, you don't just run at the same comfortable pace every single time that you run. You push yourself, you increase the intensity, and you improve. Dating is the same exact way. If you're not willing to put yourself in situations that are going to challenge you, you're going to stay exactly where you are. And if where you are is chronically single, it might be time to rethink your approach. My next one here is you think you're too good for the game. Now, some men stay single not because they can't get a date, but because they refuse to engage in the process at all. They think dating should just be effortless, that women should just see how great they are without them having to put in any work. They reject self-improvement, dismiss dating norms, and act like they're just above it all, if I can be honest. This mindset usually shows up in a few different ways. Maybe you tell yourself, if she doesn't like me exactly how I am right now, then she's just not the one. Or maybe you think, I'm not going to waste my time flirting or putting in any effort into my appearance. Women should just appreciate me for who I am on the inside. I see quite a bit of this in my comment section, if I can be so honest with you. While confidence in who you are is great, the problem with this thinking is that it assumes that attraction is purely logical, that women should just be drawn to you based on your intelligence, career success, or nice guy qualities alone. But attraction doesn't necessarily work like that. Dating is a skill, just like anything else in life, whether it's fitness, career growth, or social interactions. If you don't practice, you won't get any better. Now, you don't have to play mind games or pretend to be someone that you're not. That's absolutely not what I'm saying here, but you do have to understand attraction, communication, and effort. Women want to feel pursued, valued, and engaged. If you're showing up to dates in a wrinkled hoodie, giving one-word answers in a conversation, or refusing to take initiative because you think women should just be impressed by your passive approach, you're going to keep losing to men who do put in effort. And think of it this way, if you were hiring someone for a job, would you pick the guy who put time into his resume, showed up well-dressed, and communicated clearly, or the guy who just walked in and said, "You should hire me because I know I'm great"? Attraction works the same way. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to show up, put in effort, and engage with the process. If you refuse to do that, you'll keep watching other men succeed while you sit on the sidelines wondering why women aren't magically choosing you. And my last thing here that keeps men chronically single is negative feelings towards women. Now, one of the biggest reasons that some men struggle to find or maintain relationships is because they hold deep-seated negative feelings towards women, towards dating, or marriage in general. And while these feelings may not always be obvious, they inevitably are going to affect how you interact with women, whether it's through subtle resentment, defensiveness, or a lack of trust later down the road. These negative beliefs usually don't just come out of nowhere. Maybe you had a bad experience with someone that you dated. Maybe you grew up in a household where relationships were unhealthy, or you faced repeated rejection. Maybe you've struggled with dating and you feel frustrated, or you've spent too much time online where the loudest voices tend to confirm the worst stereotypes about women. Whatever the reason, these experiences can shape your mindset in ways that you don't even realize. And sadly, I see this a lot. I hear from so many men who feel completely discouraged about dating, convinced that women don't appreciate them, that modern relationships are completely doomed, and that it's just not worth trying anymore. But here's the problem. Your mindset shapes your reality. If you go into dating expecting rejection, manipulation, or disappointment, you'll naturally behave in ways that push people away or attract the wrong kind of woman from the start who reinforce your negative beliefs. Men who carry resentment, bitterness, or distrust towards women struggle to form healthy, fulfilling relationships because at the end of the day, no woman wants to be with a man who views her as this enemy. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not doomed. It just means that there's room to grow. In order to be truly ready for a relationship, I think it's important to work through these negative feelings and develop a healthier, more balanced perspective. This might involve therapy, self-reflection, or simply just being more intentional about the content that you consume and the people that you surround yourself with. So if you're single and you don't want to be, ask yourself, are my actions and attitudes keeping me here? Because once you shift your mindset, you'll start getting different results. I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences down in the comments if you are open to sharing. If you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.